to plan, look down the road 6 months. Yes, your husband lost his job. That's why you need to sock away some money when he's gainfully employed. Yes, they foreclosed on your home. That's why you need to have a network, a community, friends, family members, money put away.
But think about it.
Don't have the kids.
Half of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half of Latino families, have no access to a checking account or an ATM, things we take for granted. They don't have a check.
What's wrong with them?
Well, because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Why do we have them?
A lot of different reasons, but roughly half those families don't. And where do they
why
end
do
up?
Armenians have them?
But where they end up is in check cashing places.
But I want to know why those groups, why those two groups don't have access.
Well, a lot of it just happens to be that we can
so
talk
they're
about.
Flawed?
This. No, they're hardly flawed, but they're struggling.
Genetically
Folks are making
flawed.
their word. Hardly, not absolutely.
But okay,
not.
so do Asians have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have. A lot of whites have these problems.
Oh,
but
so that's not just black and Hispanic.
No, but
why did you bring up black and Hispanic?
Because the magnitude is ominous.
But why so many of them?
It just happens to be the magnitude.
That's the way God planned it?
Not at all.
Well, what happened to them?
There are a lot of issues, and that the communities are struggling. A lot of new immigrants. Struggling? A lot of different reasons. Lack of opportunity.
Have been here. Blacks have been here longer than we've been here.
Well, we can surmise.
What about Asians? They were put in internment camps.
Yeah, in fact it all initiated at San Francisco, and the Chinese Exclusion Act came out.
So
progressive San Francisco.
Are they the check cashing
places?
A
lot of Asians certainly do.
Oh, so why don't you conclude them?
The only reason why is the magnitude.
There's
the problem,
so many more.
The magnitude in percentage.
But there's no way to figure out how that happened.
We could talk about it. You know what I'm dealing with? I don't want to have a sociological debate.
Sure, why would you?
No, here's why.
Why would you want to do that? Because the person from the Times wouldn't write good things about you if you did that.
No, that's not the case. Because I want to deal with reality. No.
You want to deal with reality.
I want to deal with the reality of people that are struggling. People are suffering. I want to deal with the problems in a pragmatic way.
Why are they struggling and suffering?
We can hold hands and surmise about all these underlying reasons.
I don't want to do that. I want to know why they're struggling. Why are they struggling?
A lot of folks are struggling because they can't find jobs.
Why blacks and
because they're working.
Why blacks and Hispanics?
Across the board, all socioeconomic.
Okay, so everybody's
struggling.
So Asians are suffering just as much as blacks.
The face of welfare is not an African American family.
So it's Asian, Jewish, it's all of them.
Caucasian. It's a lot of folks in society. A lot of folks are struggling.
Okay,
but a lot of folks are struggling.
So if I go down to the check cashing place, lots of Jews and Asians.
There are.
Okay.
Right. I mean,
just checking you. Just checking the math.
Absolute fact.
I'm just wondering why you singled those two out.
Because the percentages, and I think these things matter, are profound.
So why? That's my question.
Well, I think there are a lot of reasons why. And you want to go back to issues of racism? I'll do that. You want to go back to the debate we're having about the Voting Rights Act and the fact the Supreme Court wants to take away Section 5?
What about their families?
You want to but you want to talk
about their families?
But I understand that. Families are incredibly important. That's certainly part of it.
Yeah,
and people have to be responsible.
It's a very small part of it. It's minuscule.
It's a big part of it.
Oh, big.
It is a big part.
Oh, well, why don't you guys talk about that then if it's a big part?
I just brought it up.
It's a big part. It's a big part. It's a big part that you never talk about?
I do talk about.
No one on your side talks about that big part?
I think President Obama himself brings it up over and over again. Go back to his campaign speeches.
Sure.
He's given some remarkable speeches of importance of fathers in the context of the African American.
You got to be a hero. Struggle. You got to be a hero to raise your kid.
No, well, you have to be responsible adult.
It takes courage to raise a kid. I heard his speech. It takes courage, Gavin.
I don't know about courage.
That's what your president said.
No, but to his credit,
let's hear what he says.
Eloquent speeches.
Let's hear what he says. It says it takes courage.
And will work to strengthen families by removing the financial deterrents to marriage for low-income couples, and do more to encourage fatherhood. Because what makes you a man isn't the ability to conceive a child.
That's right.
Having the courage to raise one.
Courage.
Yeah, I don't know if I get your point,
courage.
But at least he made the point that I imagine you accept that it's easy to have one.
Yes.
But you've got to actually step up and be a man and actually raise one. And he probably used. I think that's what
Gavin,
ultimately.
I know what you're saying.
No.
Anybody can eat at an IHOP. It takes courage to pay the bill. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It takes courage to stay there and pay that bill.
This is the president has spoken not at his State of the Union, as you just exampled, but he's spoken about this in much more comprehensive and eloquent terms.
Yeah.
And I think powerfully so. And I think principally so. The issues,
this
though,
is his latest one.
But we want to go to the issue of race as it relates to the issues of poverty and what we had in in redevelopment agencies and concentration of poverty in public housing and all of these things start to lead to why. The answer to your question of why is it concentrated in the African American community? Looking at that history, one cannot exclude that reality. I just think that's naive to suggest that those things don't matter. When families were broken up.
How about the Jews? No problems in the past?
No, of course. Every community's got their struggles.
Who's had it worse?
Even the Irish had struggles.
Who do you think had it worse?
I get it. But
what about the Jews? They seem to be. Why are the Jews doing well?
You know what? In
Why?
1967, blacks couldn't even marry whites in this country. Not 1927. In 16 states, they were denied because people use religious arguments to deny people
Jews
interracial
got put in ovens and
I understand, and it's disgraceful.
Okay, so
and that's why, and it's completely fair game.
How are the Jews doing now?
I mean, a lot of Jewish families doing well. A lot of families struggling.
Really?
Absolutely.
At the Czech place?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll
go down to the Czech place.
Across the board, people are struggling.
All right,
of course.
Everyone's
struggling. Look at the unemployment lines.
A lot of Jews.
Includes Americans of all types, all races, all ethnicities, all sexual orientations.
They're all the same.
My gosh.
That's right.
But, and we could talk about the issues in the Latino community, again, by separating the challenges associated with English as a second language for a lot of folks.
Sure.
The issues of poverty and the issues
everyone that came
to
here spoke perfect English.
No, I understand that. I got it. I mean, I get your world, Adam, which is a little bit more clean-cut and idealistic, a little less pragmatic in terms of the world.
It's wildly pragmatic. They have a problem with family. They have a problem with. They don't focus on education. That will get them out of the problem they're in.
On education? I don't think there's any community that cares more about education than the Latino community.
Wow.
I don't know.
Check those test scores.
No, people are. I mean, come on, that's not fair. They
it's
care.
Not fair.
Look at this school system. Look how lousy the system is.
Okay.
Look how lousy the system is.
The system sucks,
I don't care who
but it
goes
doesn't
in that
suck
system.
if you have parents that are together and put an emphasis on education.
They care deeply about education, care deeply about health care,
they
deeply
care about
these
opportunities. Okay. Well, then why do some groups do so much better?
I mean, what do you mean by groups? Almost everybody's struggling in some way, shape, or form.
There's a huge difference
in
academic performance between Asians and Hispanics, yes or no?
There's certainly examples within the Asian community.
Yes or no?
No, within the Asian community, there are examples, Chinese community in particular, other members of the Asian community, South Korean, Koreans generally. That's generally true.
So, okay. Why is it true?
You know what? I'm not a sociologist. I'm not someone. Perhaps you can explain why.
Well, I've told you why.
Why?
They have a family that puts an emphasis on education.
Which is a noble thing. And a lot of Latinos have families that put emphasis on education.
But not enough.
African Americans have put
emphasis on education. A lot, but not enough. Their families are broken up. Okay. Gavin, I get it. Everything's the same.
Not everything.
Everything's the same.
It's the human condition.
You brought up Hispanic and blacks.
Because the percentages are challenging.
Because the families are broken up.
Well, I think the issue of family is profoundly important.
Thank you.
And I agree with you.
Okay.
As I did when we began the conversation.
It's the number one problem they're having.
I think it's among the challenges.
Okay.
I don't think it's the number one.
What's the number one problem?
I think there are a lot of challenges.
What's the number one?
I don't know that I've not countenanced and
Gavin,
organized 1, 2,
the
3,
family
4,
is
5,
not the
6,
number one
7,
problem
8,
in the
9,
black
10.
community. What is the number one?
There are a lot of problems in the African American community.
But that one's not the number one.
One could make that argument.
Maybe it is number one then.
I'm not here to make that determination.
Listen,
I think there's a lot of issues.
Everything Adam Carolla said was on point and important and true. Everything he said. The other guy was just trying to be like the average person, the average liberal. Oh, it's everybody. Oh, it's not this and that. Oh, it's everybody. But he's the one that first said blacks and Hispanics, blah, blah, blah. He's the one that said it, not Adam. He's the one that said blacks and Hispanics, and Adam went in on him the correct way. And this is what I'm talking about. Adam Carolla, he's a genius. He has friends of all races. He doesn't exclude anybody. He likes people based on their intelligence. And that's how people get by in life. Being intelligent and surrounding yourself with other intelligent people, regardless of their race, religion, or sexual orientation. The more intelligent people you have around you, the better you're going to do in life. I promise you. I promise you. Surround yourself with intelligent motherfuckers and you're going to be absolutely fine. Because intelligent people know what they have to do. Intelligent and logical people usually separate their hearts from their minds. They know what they have to do in life. Even if they don't enjoy it, they're going to do it because they have to. They know what has to be done. They're not afraid to speak the truth. These are the people you need to be around. Intellectuals. Those are the people. And intellectuals who don't hate other people. Those are the people you need to be around. And that's basically it. After this, I'm going to make a video about Adam Carolla's response to his own interview of I think this guy was a mayor or something. But Adam Carolla for president, man. This dude, brilliant. Love him. And that's it. Later.